Franz von Kearney, Writings by Frank Schmidt on the Danube Swabian People. These collected writings are republished in memory of the author, Frank Schmidt, so that others may continue to enjoy his work. May his spirit live on. Friedrich von Schiller. 200 years after his demise, the German-speaking world pays homage to one of its greatest literary giants, Friedrich von Schiller, the German literary rebel, 1785 to 1805. During Schiller's lifetime, the German Reich was made up of an array of kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, bishoprics, and free cities. In the age of absolutism, some were ruled by men with unfettered powers over their subjects unconstrained by a constitution or elected body. One of these was Duke Karl Eugen of Wurttemberg, the dukedom in which Friedrich Schiller was born and raised. Oddly enough, despite its social restraints, it was also an age in which German literature flourished due to the sponsorship of some of these very same rulers. Friedrich Schiller was born on November 10, 1759 to a Lutheran family in Marbach, on the Neckar River. His father, Johann Caspar Schiller, was an army surgeon with the rank of captain in one of Duke Karl Eugen's regiments. His mother, Dorothea nie Kodweis, was the daughter of a local baker. In his early years, Friedrich was quite close to his mother, who was a very devout woman. This religious influence affected Friedrich to such a degree that even as a child, his ambition was to become a person. His mother saw to it that he received his primary education at the local elementary school. When at home, his father took charge of his schooling. A family friend tutored Friedrich while his father was away on military duties. Friedrich Schiller had to leave his family home at age 13 when Duke Karl Eugen drafted him into his military academy at his castle Solitude, near Stuttgart. This pleased his father very much. He was honored that his son had been chosen to attend an institute of higher learning at no cost to him. The primary purpose of the academy was to train the students as future military officers and civil servants. All the students were assigned supplementary non-military subjects. Discipline was very strict and obedience relentless. Friedrich Schiller called the school a jail and hated every minute of his stay there, but there was no way out. He was to remain there for 8 years. The teachers were personally chosen by the Duke and were of the highest caliber. Besides military subjects, they also taught general subjects, so Friedrich received a well-rounded education. The non-military subject chosen for him was jurisprudence, which he disliked so much that he was able to switch to medicine. At age 20, he graduated as a physician and was promptly assigned to one of the Duke's regiments as an army doctor. Schiller's first drama, Die Rauber, The Robbers, was secretly written by him during his student days at the academy, where the freedom he longed for was severely restricted. This undoubtedly influenced his writing, which in effect declared war on all tyrants and dictatorial rulers. The model for the tyrant in this play was none other than his nemesis Duke Karl Eugen himself. This would cause Schiller a lot of trouble in the future. Schiller anonymously staged his play Die Rauber in nearby Mannheim, which was not in Wurttemberg. It was a great success. When Duke Karl Eugen heard of this, he forbade Schiller from writing any more poetry and dramas, to stage his plays in foreign lands, and to leave Wurttemberg. Schiller had reached the stage where he was no longer willing to put up with the Duke's dictates, so he deserted his army post and fled Wurttemberg into another German state. This was a hazardous venture because he now faced the wrath of the Duke, as well as an uncertain future, since he was still comparatively unknown. From 1782 to 1789, he wandered through various German states and suffered a great deal through his lack of a steady income and recurring illness. Sometimes he was able to sell one of his poems to a publisher. His play Cabal and Liebe, Intrigue and Love, was written and performed during this time. It is the story of a young nobleman who falls in love with a farmer's daughter. They loved each other dearly, but because of their different social standing, they could not marry. This brought him some income. Despite all his efforts, Friedrich never earned enough money to support himself. Always in the nick of time, his friends and admirers helped him out of his dire need. In 1789, through Goethe's help, Schiller obtained the position of professor of history at the University of Jena in Saxony. Now that he had a steady income, he bought a house in Weimar and was able to marry his fiancée Charlotte von Langenfeld, with whom he eventually had 4 children. Jena was not far from Weimar, where the Duke of Saxony-Weimar had his seat. This high-minded duke regularly assembled numerous poets, artists, and scholars in his residence. It was here in 1794 that Schiller became better acquainted with the great Goethe. Unlike Schiller, Goethe had never suffered from want or illness. Both men were quite different. When Goethe wrote, he had to see and experience everything about his subject, whereas Schiller engaged himself with theoretical conceptions like beauty or the love for mankind. Despite their literary differences, an even closer friendship and esteem developed between these two giants of German literature. Like no other, they elevated the German language to a stature it had not achieved up to that time. The German people now realized how beautiful, refined, and precise their native language was, and wholeheartedly accepted the superior literary contributions of their poets. Schiller once wrote that language is the mirror of a nation. If we look in the mirror, we see an exquisite picture of ourselves therefrom. He went on to produce the drama Don Carlos, based on a conflict between a father and a son. Then he wrote the dramas Wallenstein, the Jungfrau von Orleans, and Maria Stuart, the story of how her sister Queen Elizabeth of England unjustly condemned her to death. This was followed by Die Glocke, which describes the journey of mankind through life on Earth to inevitable death. Space is too limited to review all his works here. His last drama was Wilhelm Tell, which describes the struggle of a Swiss leader against foreign occupiers. This is such a powerful drama against foreign occupation that its performance in occupied Germany after World War II was forbidden by the Western Allies. In today's German cultural vassal state, Schiller is recognized as an historical figure 200 years after his death. In schools and theater, his works have been so distorted by hostile re-educators that the essence of the German language is well on the way to its planned destruction. Schiller must surely be turning in his grave. It is not much different among Germans in North America. Most organizations espouse German culture as they understand it. Sadly, many of their children do not speak their heritage language. Language is the soul of a people. Without a good knowledge of the German language, there is no German culture, and they go through life bereft of some of the greatest works of civilized man. In 1802, a few years before his death, Friedrich Schiller was raised to nobility by the German Kaiser, henceforth known as Friedrich von Schiller. He died in Weimar on May 9, 1805, from acute pneumonia and pleurisy at the age of 46. In 1827, his earthly remains were transferred to the ducal tomb in Weimar. A statue of him and Goethe is located in that city. A copy graces a park in Cleveland, Ohio. Friedrich von Schiller wrote 19 world-class dramas and hundreds of classic poems. Unfortunately, Schiller's German works are difficult or impossible to translate into English, a rather insipid language that does not adequately convey the subtle nuances and feelings expressed in classic German. Translations often have the feeling of washing your feet with your socks on. Perhaps that is why Schiller's works are not well known in the English-speaking world. Beethoven set Schiller's poem in Die Freude, Ode to Joy, to music for the finale of his Ninth Symphony. This sublime combination of Beethoven and Schiller sung by a baritone in a sonorous voice is a fine example of German culture. It never fails to stir the mind of this writer to lofty heights, which no other language or music is capable of doing. That is the legacy Friedrich von Schiller left for the German-speaking world, as well as the world at large. May his works never be forgotten.
Thank you for joining us in this exploration of Friedrich von Schiller's life and legacy. As we reflect on this video, two key aspects come to the forefront. First, we've delved into the tumultuous life of Friedrich Schiller, who rebelled against the constraints of his time and used his literary talents to challenge tyrants. Second, we've celebrated the profound impact of Schiller's works on the German language and culture. His writings, although challenging to translate, have left an indelible mark on the world, including Beethoven's iconic setting of Ode to Joy in his Ninth Symphony. Now, we'd love to hear from you. What aspects of Friedrich Schiller's life and works resonate with you the most? Please share your thoughts and insights in the comments below. If you found this video informative and thought-provoking, we kindly ask you to show your support. Please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and consider sharing this video with your friends and social groups. Your small actions can help us continue to bring you valuable content. Thank you for being a part of our community, and may Friedrich von Schiller's legacy continue to inspire us all. Until next time, stay curious and stay connected. And dictatorial rulers. His journey from a military academy to becoming a celebrated playwright and poet is a testament to his unwavering determination.
Wir sind Donauschwaben, Kindeskinder.